Today, we're talking about something truly shocking, a story that has just sent waves of disbelief through Hollywood and really all over the world. We're going to break down the tragic death of a beloved icon, Rob Reiner.
And then, on December 14th, 2025, we got the official word. A heartbreaking statement from the Reiner family that confirmed everyone's worst fears. It was blunt, it was tragic, and it was very, very real.
So, let's start at the beginning. How did this all unfold? We need to go back and look at the events of that day.
Okay, so the first reports started trickling in on a Sunday afternoon. A medical aid call was placed from the couple's home in the upscale Brentwood neighborhood of LA. But what first responders found inside was not a medical emergency. It was a horrific scene of violence.
And the victims, well, it's just heartbreaking. They were quickly identified as the 78-year-old director, Rob Reiner, and his wife, the 68-year-old photographer, Michelle Singer Reiner. They'd been married since 1989. That's a 36-year partnership, both in life and in art.
Now, to really get the scale of this loss, you have to understand just how huge Rob Reiner's impact was on film and television. I mean, his work wasn't just popular, it literally helped define genres and generations of movie lovers.
His career journey is just incredible. He becomes a household name in the 70s, winning Emmys as Meathead on All in the Family. Then, he pivots to directing and absolutely crushes it. From his debut with This Is Spinal Tap to founding a major studio, his influence was just immense. And talk about work ethic. He finished his final movie just this year.
But let's be real. His true legacy, that was behind the camera. I mean, just look at this list. Spinal Tap, Stand By Me, The Princess Bride, When Harry Met Sally, Misery, A Few Good Men. Come on, that's not just a list of movies. It's practically a cultural touchstone for millions of people.
And of all those classics, he always said that Stand By Me was his masterpiece. He felt it was the first film that was purely him, where he really stepped out of the shadow of his legendary father, Carl Reiner, and found his own unique voice as an artist.
And his impact didn't stop with the movies he directed. Oh no, he was also a really shrewd producer. He co-founded Castle Rock Entertainment, a company that produced some absolute titans of pop culture, like the TV show Seinfeld and the movie The Shawshank Redemption. His fingerprints were everywhere.
But this is where the story takes an unbelievably dark turn. What started as a tragic discovery quickly spiraled into a complex criminal investigation, with a development that nobody saw coming.
So you have to wonder, how did the police go from a routine medical call to a high-profile double homicide case? Well, the sequence of events was terrifyingly fast.
Okay, let's look at this timeline because it shows just how fast things moved. It all starts at 3:38 p.m. with that medical call. Very quickly, the LAPD's top-tier robbery homicide division takes over. They're not just investigating deaths, they're investigating a double homicide by stabbing. Then we get this chilling report that a family member is being questioned, which led directly to the final unthinkable step.
That family member was identified as the couple's 32-year-old son, Nick Reiner. He was taken into custody and arrested, and just like that, what was already a profound Hollywood tragedy became an unimaginable family nightmare.
And to give you an idea of just how serious this is, bail for Nick Reiner was set at $4 million. $4 million. That number alone tells you everything you need to know about the gravity of the crime he's been accused of.
So, as these horrifying details started to emerge, you can imagine the reaction. Tributes just started pouring in from every corner of the entertainment world and beyond. It was a clear sign of a deep, collective sense of loss.
The family of Norman Lear, the man who created All in the Family and gave Rob his big break, shared just how devastated they were. They said Norman thought of Rob as a son. That's a bond that goes so much deeper than just a TV show.
Even political figures paid tribute. California's governor really hit on what made Reiner's work so universal. He said Reiner had this boundless empathy that taught people how to see the good in others. What a gift that is.
And it came from everyone, from the mayor of Los Angeles, who called it a devastating loss for the entire city, to his closest friends. His frequent collaborator Billy Crystal was seen at the home, and a witness said he just looked like he was about to cry. The grief was just everywhere, and it was raw.
And it's so important to remember that his impact went way beyond movies. He was a really passionate activist who used his fame to fight for things he believed in, from co-founding an organization to support same-sex marriage to leading campaigns against smoking. He really put his money where his mouth was. So this is what we're left with, right? Rob Reiner gave the world this incredible legacy of joy, of laughter, of real human connection. And now that beautiful legacy is forever tied to a story of unimaginable darkness. So how do we hold both of those things at once? How do we remember the art and the artist while also acknowledging this profoundly tragic end? That's the question that's going to linger for a long, long time.